the keys is looking at the relationship between the behavior and results. It's pretty clear that if we do the right kind of thing behaviorally, if we design exactly the right kind of insert, that we will get the right kinds of results. There's also a principle we're all familiar with called the 20-80 principle. It says 20% of something produces 80% of something else. 20% of the products produce 80% of the revenues. 20% of the products produce 80% of the profits, different 20%. Problem with your in-laws, 20% of your in-laws account for 80% of the problems you got with in-laws. And we all know about the 20-80 principle. But because the 20-80 principle exists, it is also true that very small shifts in behavior can produce a very large shift in terms of job results. And one of the keys is finding that slight behavioral shift that'll produce a large shift in terms of results. Here's an example. Let's take two prospective professional golfers. Phil Mickelson, Tom Connellan, two men of approximately equal potential and ability. And let's look at three different dimensions of performance: club grip and stance, score, and earnings from professional golf. At the first dimension of performance, club grip, stance, putting the ball on the tee, putting the tee in the ground, how much difference would you see between Phil and Tom? Some, lot, or not very much? Not very much. And I would argue, and hopefully persuasively so, that at that dimension of performance, I might even be able to fool you. So we'd be pretty close one to the other. We come to the second dimension of performance, score. What would we see there? Some, lot, or not very much? Who said a lot? The answer is some. We come to the second dimension of performance, score. What would we see there? Some, lot, not very much. Let me just pick somebody at random. Sir? What's the answer? No, some. Would my score be double or triple his? No, maybe a 10, 20% difference, 30%, whatever it is. So it'd be a little bit further out. Now we come to the bottom line, earnings for professional golf. What we see there, some, lot, or not very much? A lot. In fact, infinity, because 0 multiplied or divided by anything is infinity, so it'd be way out the ends of the spectrum. Let's say that I started working with a teaching pro who says, Tom, turn your thumb a little bit more this way. Okay, great. Now keep your head down a split second longer. Great. Whoa, way to go. Work, coach, counsel, feedback. He cuts the score difference in half. Let's say that Phil averages 70, just because the numbers are easy to keep track of. And let's say there's a 20% difference. I average 84. I have now cut it to 77. 70 to 77. I'm pretty happy camper. Look, this is great. Any change in my earnings? No, not a cent. So nothing. Work, coach, counsel, feedback. We cut the score difference in half again. Mickelson averages 70. I now average 73.5. This is great. I can't believe it. This is better than I've ever done in my life. Any change in my earnings? Nothing. Maybe $100 in a club shootout tournament that nobody else wanted to enter, but nothing to write home about. Work, coach, counsel, feedback. I cut out the last 5%. I now shoot it up golf with Ernie Els or Phil or whoever the big money winner is that year on the circuit. At that point in time, I would submit to you we'd get a significant impact on the bottom line. Significant impact. Point in fact, it'll vary from year to year, but in a typical year, the difference between number one in terms of money winners and like number 40 or 50 averages about 1/10 of a stroke per hole.